All right, this time to get it started, so we're gonna call this January meeting of the solid waste to order. I guess we can open by getting the minutes approved. I think everybody's had ample time to read them.
Everybody's here, we can do roll call tonight instead of.
Yeah, we don't have to go, yeah.
Yeah.
Move to approve.
I got a motion to approve. Got a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, and I guess we'll turn it over to Cory and let her go over her reports.
One thing on the minutes that was discussed about the residents having to show residency location. We did get signs made up. They actually were delivered today to put at all the convenience centers, and they say Robertson County residents only, subject to verification. This is how we worded it. I talked to the mayor about that after our last meeting, and so I got those ordered up. So they come in this afternoon. Dale got the one up next door, then he's going to put the other ones up here in the next day or two at the other convenience centers. So I did want to let y'all know that we did put that up.
What kind of training or whatever you're gonna do about the attendants there with this, you know?
Well, see, when they come in, they usually see the front of the vehicle. So Dale told him, and unless it's somebody that he knows that comes every week, if it's anybody that there's any doubt to, he said, you're just going to have to walk around and look at their tag. And he said, if you have any question, make them show their driver's license and
I kind of disagree with that.
proof of residency.
Every time I went out there, they said, well, they're
Well,
right behind me.
Yeah, Cross Plains, they're in front of you.
Okay,
Cross Plains, they're in front of
I'm
you.
using ours out here.
Yeah, this one
Kinda
out here,
far.
they're behind. It just depends on how they're laid out and if they're standing at the compactor or in the building, really.
Okay, yeah, I was out of whack by saying that.
Yeah, if
I'm
it's
just
any of the
going by ours.
ones, yeah, that's what he told him. If he can't see where he's sitting at the compactor, then he needs to look. Kind of the same way we do when they come across the scales, we look at their tags. It's just so hard because so many are specialty tags now, they don't have the,
And you saying that there's a lot of them that's got some kind of something around their flat plate. I seen one like that out there the other day when I was.
and I said, if this same, I told Dale, I said, it's telling you, this person, they come every single week, they're a resident, don't make them show their driver's license, you don't have time to check every person.
But did you know they come every week in a Davidson County car and they tell you, well,
Right.
we just moved here last month.
Right.
Some days they didn't get their tags in Robinson County.
Common sense, yep. Okay, on to the report. Solid waste shipped was 5084. There was a big difference this month, which I figured it would be because of a lot of the fluff and cardboard and paper and that sort of thing that we get in December. The tonnage itself, the difference was 325 tons. What else is difference? I'll go back to that when I talk about that increase. Our mixed snow charge that came in was 1,406 tons, which equaled out to $50,214. Again, waste in and waste out, there was a little bit of difference, but I think a lot of that had to do with how much cardboard came in during that month. But we did do 3,782 tickets in December compared to, it was about almost 200 more than the previous month. And then on the revenue analysis, I just carried forward to the next month. And I'm rotating it now, like I knocked off last December, because I think we said in the beginning to do a year run. Is that still good for y'all?
I think that's what we asked for, right?
Okay. Well, that's what I did. I knocked off last December and added this one because that's when we started. Wasn't a whole lot of difference. A little bit more in on tires as far as revenue. Mixed waste was lower, but then again, private haulers was up. Out of county was up a little. White House was up a little, right, because of the Christmas trash. So we didn't get our tires from the state, so that makes it lower since that only comes in each quarter. But
Cory, it's a good place right here. Have you got, without not going into trouble, have you got the year-to-date number of the revenue? In other words, we're 6 months old right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that number in front of you, what the total revenue is?
That we brought in for this, yeah,
For this
Yeah.
budget year.
yes.
I mean, I can add all these numbers up and get it, looks like it's
No.
gonna be about $1,000,007.
Our revenue, and that's what I was gonna say, is actually, at December 30th, we should be at 50% of our budget year.
That's right, that's where I'm going.
Our revenue is at 53% and our disposal is at 47. So our revenue is running 3% to the good, and then our disposal is running 3% under than what we planned. So we're going 3% either way. Year to date.
That's not, what it is, that's a 6%.
Mhm.
Right, rather
surplus.
than.
Right.
And which was just what we planned to do, Mr. Chairman, when we covered the credit card fees by going up, which is what most all businesses do, but some businesses don't, and the rest of the county don't. But I really think, what has happened to me going through this exercise, Steve, is I find myself, and Mayor, I find myself arguing on behalf of our cash paying customers. We got cash paying customers, and then we get a stipend from the sales tax, from the property tax. We got 5 cents this year. And you put all that together and that covers our expenses. And what it's dawned on me is I've been trying to keep this balance right between what the citizens of Robertson County pay versus what our cash paying customers pay. And the truth is, it's got a little bit out of balance. Now, I don't even want to get into that right now, but that's a good thing for us to know, and let's keep tracking that these next 6 months.
Okay, the total for the 6 month, year-to-date realizes $1,204,847.
What was that last figure for?
That's the,
Total
what we
revenue.
brought in for 6 months
Just be,
on the revenue.
Yes, say it again.
$1,204,847.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is there any other questions on reports?
I got it late, I'm sorry. Back to page 3,
Uh-huh,
the payout for waste,
yes.
what did you say the difference between that and their income?
325 tons, which equals $11,615.
If I could say something, Mayor, I think what she did, she figured up the revenue for 6 months, which is that line we get. And then she figured up all of our expenses, which is all the payroll, all the revenue, all the diesel fuel, all the stuff that we have to do, right, Corey?
For,
For 6 months.
that
That's
was
what,
just our
47%
income.
less.
No, our disposal line is at 47%, just the disposal line,
Ooh,
nothing else.
that's not good.
Yeah, see, I was looking at page 3, the income for the month was 171,000, but our payout was 200.
Well, that was just the cash we still billed that other 171,000. And
Right below it, yeah.
And out of that, that's with tires too, our actual trash bill was 193,000 for December. The other 7,000 was tires.
Okay, so we 20,000 is bad.
Not if you
No.
count what we
Not
billed.
yet.
No, the revenue, Mayor, you have to add those two numbers together.
The,
171
the
and
first
171.
line and the second line, Mayor, I think is what they're telling us.
Mhm.
Is that what you telling me?
Yes, like
Well, I thought that they were both close, I don't see how we.
They are
yeah,
close.
they are, they are really
You know,
close.
cash and the credit is running neck and neck. you know,
Yeah.
And I thought that was just a.
So it's 350 in rough numbers, and our cost was 200. Then we got the cost of operations on top of that.
Right.
I really want to know where we are on everything. I want the big picture.
You want a total?
Yeah, not now. Give it to me now.
Okay, I'll show you afterwards. There's a couple of things on the agenda that I know there's gonna be a couple of things that's gonna take more discussion, but I just wanna let y'all know that Gov Deals, I got them out. I was waiting after the first of the year, and I got them out there. They came yesterday. They got the 2 Mack trucks, the cardboard truck that was tore up that we surplus, that old 96 roll-off, and the old forklift. He got all 3 of those listed. The auction is to start today at 6 p.m. and go 2 weeks through February 4th. So we'll know in a couple of weeks what those bring in. Which I was talking to Dale, he thinks maybe that cardboard truck, if somebody just wanted to buy it for the motor, might bring 8,000. He said that's what about a used motor for one is, but he didn't see them.
I'd say that'd be top end.
Yeah,
Me
too. I wouldn't give that the whole
I
drive.
don't say if
That's
we
what
can
I'm
get it,
saying.
let's take
That
it.
would be top.
But, so I just want to let y'all know that was up starting today through the 4th. The next thing is we had discussed about starting to discuss in January about the waste contract, because of me having to let them know 90 days in advance. So we had already talked about starting this month discussing that. But, when they sent me December's bill, they sent me a letter from the, landfill that they had received that they are doing, they didn't do it last year on us, but they did implement the 1% CPI increase. And I did go back and look at the contract and double check that that was in there, and it was, that they could do a 1% CPI each year, which what it amounts to, instead of us paying $35.70 a ton, we'll be paying $36.06 a ton. And so I did the math compared to last month's bill. And if we do the same tonnage, say next month at this new thing, it would be right at $2,000 more a month for that 1% increase. I just took the tonnage we hauled, the tonnage we did this month, and then multiplied by the 3606, and I took the difference, and it was right at $2,000.
What does CPI stand for?
Costs,
Consumer product.
Yeah.
Product index.
yes, Consumer Product Index. I looked that up because I thought it was cost something index. So, if y'all wanna, I don't know where y'all wanna go next. Do you wanna start talking about the waste contract?
Yeah, I think that's probably where we need to get that done before we go into it.
Decide what we're gonna do,
Yeah.
we're gonna rebid. I mean, right now, from what they bid with loading, we already talked about, here we are at 3606. If they were loading out, it would be, at the bid they used before would have been 38.95, which that probably would have had the 1% increase also. But, it's just killing me, these overage, these
Sounds
underage.
reasonable.
I thought it was $5 a ton,
What?
a loadout.
It was $35.70 for what they're doing now, and $38.95.
That'd be $3 in round numbers, $3.
Well, yeah, but I thought that his bid was $5 a ton. It wasn't?
I think that's what he told us, if we needed him to come in with a loader,
Yeah.
an operator, and that if something happened, he said he'd do
I
it for
mean, at
$5.
$3, why didn't we take it?
Oh, that's a good question, man.
I mean, I figured that up too. I took the numbers with this month's tonnage. We paid $193,000 for this month, to where if they would have loaded and we wouldn't have had those overages and had it at $38.95, we would have paid $4,900 more this month. But that would be no loader expenses, no fuel, no.
I'm sorry, did you finish? Is it your understanding that if they load it, they're gonna furnish the loader and the fuel and the driver and the moving it around and all that?
The jockey, they'll be responsible for any overage or underage, all of that. I mean, I think we would still need one of our operators in the back to help them direct our citizens in, because remember when they came in that one month and ran that December? That was the biggest thing that they had trouble with is they're used to just commercial trucks coming in and dumping at their transfer stations. They're not used to mom and pop coming in with a trailer and taking an hour ton load. So that was the biggest issue, I think, when we tried that whole project that month.
I would say we need to get their price on them doing nothing, and if we think we need to continue to have expense of an employee now, with as that much added, we've got to cut back on some employees.
Mhm.
I don't know what that sum is going to amount to. We're definitely not going to have any more loaders. Now, we might still own them, and we might
Now,
let them sit
yeah.
out there until we decide to.
Well,
do
we'll
something
still
with
have to have a loader and operator because we're still about to manage the brush and the metal.
Right, and we won't have fuel, so much fuel, and we
Right.
won't have so much maintenance.
Right.
I didn't understand. If you don't mind repeating, we would need one person to handle the brush and the,
Metal.
okay.
We still would have to load from the metal pile, load those bins up.
Mhm.
And then the tires. We would
These same
still
people
handle the
don't take
tires.
that out, Steve.
Okay.
What was the, still have to do what, the pilot?
Tires,
The
Oh,
tires.
yeah.
unless we work out something that they load.
Well,
them
to me,
because
if
they're
they, if they gonna furnish the loader, the guy to run it, the fuel, and it's, if it's, the
Yeah.
figure you just said is almost a no-brainer.
And Mr. Chairman, there's another little line item on our budget that's gonna go away, and that's the difference. This thing melts from the time we send it out till we get the bill back on what we load out and what they pay for, in other words. We won't have to deal with that anymore.
Right.
Well, like I said, it
Yeah,
was
you're
still,
exactly right.
yeah, like I figured, when I figured the 3570, I figured it as what we paid for. Not what we hauled. What we paid for was 193, and then at the 38.95 a ton was 198 and some change. So the difference altogether was 4907, $4,907.
And Purvis knows we're talking about that right now.
Have you talked to him?
No, he has brought it up about the short waits to me, and, you know, it's a selling point for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I like the idea before, and
Well,
I even
and
like it
also,
more now.
Mr. Don, it also takes, I would think, well, we still gonna be operating scales, but they're gonna be loaded trucks if we go out here and get the tickets and stuff, overweights, I don't know, how would that work, Corey?
On what now?
Like, they're gonna be loaded trucks, but they're still gonna come across our scale, our person's gonna be weighing them. So.
Well, I
they
would say
Be liable for that, overweights.
that there's nothing to keep us from being named in a.
Oh, well, we don't do a
Call
scale
person.
ticket.
If they do it themselves, we'll have a lot more to talk about in our favor.
Right.
Like, even now, my people don't do an actual scale ticket. I have them logged in a binder, and they write down the truck, the time, the truck, the weight, you know.
But your scale people know how much that trailer's supposed to weigh and how much it weighs when it leaves.
Right, right.
Regardless, if something happens, it come back to that log.
Takes a lot of liability with it.
Yeah, that's what I,
You would hope, Steve.
Yeah, if they're loading and they're
Man,
hauling.
have we been satisfied overall with the way Queen City has done
Since
it?
they come around this time and bought all the new trucks and trailers and actually became a transport company, it's been a lot better.
I've heard a whole lot less complaints than I had the previous year when we couldn't get trailers in out there.
Mhm.
Was our biggest
I mean,
issue. I think that's kind of when you was off of.
Like between, like around Christmas, since Christmas,
And
there's.
for your sake, Bob, and for Steve, they have been consistently low bid. We're not paying them more than we could.
Yeah.
Every time they've come in for bid, they've been low.
I just know it seemed like that for a while, I guess when I was on solid waste before,
We couldn't get trailers, yeah.
that there was issue with them.
It was, definitely
It
was.
was like, well, I mean, so if we still have any issue, then is low bid really worth
I mean,
that?
anything.
Yeah, is it really worth that
Hey,
question?
I'm gonna tell you, since the new
But we're good,
contract,
we're good.
since the new contract, we have not had one problem trucking.
Mayor, do you think if we bid it out like this, that this other guy that you told me you knew that hauls to that same landfill, you think he'll bid on
Okay.
loading it out himself?
I think, what we had last time, Keith, about 4 bids.
I got it right here.
I think we had 4 bids and,
Yes, we did have 4 bids.
Hey, I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't have 5 this time.
That's great.
More the better.
Well,
Yeah.
that should make the bids more competitive, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I
They
mean,
were all pretty close except for one, maybe. 2 of them real close.
on just the transportation and disposal, the option that we went with, it was, went from 3570 to 3875 to 4636, all the way up to 5375, which was waste management, and they were having to haul it farther to one of their landfills, is why. That was just out of the park. And then as far as bidding on the option 3 we did, which was, the bidder loads, transports, and disposes, we only had 2 bids on that. Queen City was $38.95, and then the other was a DC Trucking that was $43.75. So about what, $5 difference there.
See, that may be where you're getting at.
Yeah, well, at 5, it was still a pretty tough decision, considering we gotta have a loader.
Yeah, Mayor, we don't have a loader, we got 3 loaders.
Yeah, but I'm talking, we got one, but
He said if we gotta buy a new one,
we gotta buy a new one,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and furnish the driver too.
yeah. In case,
Time you furnish the driver, and his insurance and everything, guess he probably gets some overtime every week. Don't know what that is, you know,
I can figure that total. I did it when I did
Yeah.
the assessment when I first
I don't know how
brought
to
it to
figure
y'all.
the insurance. and
I
all
got
that
it in my
stuff.
paperwork.
when we look at the bids, that would be good for us to know, just what he said.
Right, and I say, I can contact Queen City again to do that option 2, not Queen City, Bi-County landfill, because we did that option 2 in there where we had a certain rate from them if the hauler hauled it to them. I don't know where they're at in their fees right now. I can check on that to see if we want to if we just want to do option transportation and disposal and then load transport and disposal, or do we want to put in the same like we did last time, I can get the price for Bi-County solid waste and go through all
I
that.
think what you done last time, give them all them options, give them the same options this year.
Corey, is Purvis still hauling trash in, does too? Or he's not, since he got out of it?
No, he got out of it. Had
So
Waste
the company
Connections.
that bought him out, they hauling in trash?
Yes, Waste Connections is who bought out Queen City Disposal,
Yeah,
and they still.
they still haul in?
In other words, they're on our, they got a charge account.
Right,
They
right,
pay pretty good.
yes.
Question.
You know, for them to haul to us instead of going
I don't understand.
somewhere else,
We must be cheaper still.
that tells me something right there.
Saves time and
Yeah.
Drive.
Same
Okay.
time, he turns his trucks around quicker, but, I still don't know why Purvis ain't hauling out there. Bi-County, I just don't understand that.
there was just a falling out.
Sounds like something they got crossed.
Kosher.
No, there was a falling
I'll
out.
tell you,
with all
Norton
that.
be a pretty good trip. Franklin, Tennessee's hauling all theirs out by county now.
Really?
Mhm.
They bought 500 more acres out there by county that they ain't even touched.
Well, Mayor, on this, when we put these bids out, I think what you're saying is Purvis is having to charge us more because of the distance he's hauling it.
Yep.
So maybe some of these other people may give us a lower bid, they may be carrying it to Bi-County.
Well, that's, Purvis is cheaper, but he's hauling it further.
You'd think somebody could get cheaper and hauling it closer than he is, you'd think.
I think it's based on whatever quantity he's bringing to them.
It's just nothing much.
But didn't we, send a proposal to the guys up at, Hopkins County last year about bidding on that? They have some trucks.
Yeah,
But I think
at the
where they-
landfill where we take it,
Yeah.
yeah, one of those guys had a pretty strong connection with those people up there. We got a
Mhm.
bid from him. I can't think of the name of the company.
So, we want to go with the same 3 options and rebid, is that what we're saying?
That's what I'm thinking, but that's only me. We definitely got to rebid, so I don't know what options we want to change. If anybody's got any ideas,
No, I think, Mr. Chairman, I'm like you, but my opinion is we need to look at all 3 options, including what he's doing now, including him loading it and
And I
for the
think,
sale.
I think it's what, way I'm looking at it too, Ms. Don, he needs to give us the bids on all the three ways, just like he did last time.
Right.
Have
So
you got,
really, we'll be doing it just like we did last time. Was it 3 years ago? Or was it 2 years
This
ago?
bid came in on September 3rd, 2019.
Okay, so it's 2 years.
have you got something with the options on it where I could read it
Yes.
for you? I'd appreciate that.
When's the 1% increase going to?
January 1.
This was already in play.
Every time we up something, somebody else ups it, right?
I know. See, the only thing I could remember was the fuel increase, and I thought, I don't remember
Yeah, I
that.
remember that
But then I went
fuel.
back and pulled the contract, and I'm like, nope, it was,
Yeah, he had something there about,
Annual
in his
CPI.
contract about the fuel and
Yeah.
all that.
and it was on the bid tab too, but I just didn't remember
Do
it. I
you
remember
need, do you need any more from us on, as a committee, or as sending that out?
No, I'll just
Or
start,
that you-
what I'll do first is I'll start working on this, and I'll call Queen City, get what their rate would be, so I can make those changes to that option too, because, I know they at one time was trying to get more trash in there, and they had gone down, based on quantity. But I'll get with them, and that way I have the right information to go in the packet for that middle option.
See, on that Queen City Board, we've got Buddy Bryant, on Fi County, Fi County landfill. Buddy Bryant's on that committee. So is, Jerome Ellis, brother Alan Ellis.
That's not their, that's the, regional committee.
Yeah, but that committee had recommended that we start hauling back down there again. Stewart County voted no, but they didn't want to send there. But Montgomery County did vote yes.
Who didn't want to send that?
Stewart County.
Stewart. But now they changed their mind, or?
Why?
No, they really hadn't changed their mind, but they got outvoted by the whole committee.
I have a lot of questions till I understand exactly so what I want to say this for, Ms. Corey, is on option 2, we got the bidder places trailers for loading tarps and transportation to Bi-County solid waste.
Mm-hmm.
Can we remove that Bi-County solid waste and it not be, then they can
Well,
deliver?
that, option 1 and option 3 gave them any disposal site.
Right,
The only reason we did that in option 2 is
Okay.
because Bi-County wanted to give us a discounted rate for disposal.
see, I didn't
And
know, that's
so-
what I'm getting at.
So we would have been paying them that rate, and so
Uh-huh.
that, really, the middle number right there is just for the haul. That's what it would cost per ton to haul it
To our designated site,
to Bi-County.
okay,
And then we would have been paying, what was it, 25 a ton for disposal? And
Right.
like I said, that may be
Right.
less now, because I know they've lowered it trying to get more trash in.
okay,
So strictly option 2 was the haul.
okay. So we're saying you're gonna haul for us to this designated site?
Right,
Okay.
because we could get that rate at that site.
Oh, you'll need this. Do you mind if I keep this?
I can print another off.
Okay.
Okay, so I will start working on that and bring y'all to the table next month what I have.
Kind of say out loud the time period. Here it is. You might as well say February.
Mhm.
So we need to give 30 days for people to bid,
Mm-hmm.
and then we need a period to evaluate them and award the contract. So what is the time period?
We running behind probably.
No.
No, not yet. I
No,
don't think. I don't
because
think
all
yet.
we'd have to do is bid, come back, approve whichever bid, and, because they're not gonna be starting to July 1, because
Right.
our contract already goes through June 30th.
Right.
We should know something by May.
Oh, yeah, I think by May for sure. And then, that way, whatever company gets it can have a month to prep and come in there July 1.
You mean put the bid out in May?
Awarded
No.
in May.
Award it.
Award
So we need to put the bid out in April.
I think if I have it ready by next month, why not go ahead and put it out the end of March, beginning of April?
That's what I thought. If we put it out in March, we
Yeah.
can award it in May. And I interrupted you, I'm
Well,
sorry.
Corey, did our last time, we just gave them 3 days to bid?
No, it was
Cool.
something and it fell on a holiday.
Yeah, but 3 days, they're gonna, whatever they do, their lawyer's just gonna have to read it and everything.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. No,
No,
it
we
wasn't
don't-
that short. but it
3
was-
days, is that what you're saying?
I thought
No.
that's what she just said. They got
30.
No.
3 days to bid.
30 days.
30
Okay,
days.
I can live with 30.
Yeah, no, I think the only thing weird that happened last bid is it fell around, well, we did that opened them on the 19th. Well, that would've been Labor Day. There was something odd, because it was a holiday weekend or something, and they were calling me asking questions, because it was due that Tuesday, like we were off on Monday, or I don't
Look, I
remember.
remember that too, but.
But there will be,
All right.
there'll be
Put it
plenty of
out
time.
next month, they got 30 days to bid it, and we ought to be in good shape,
Oh, yeah.
okay? Thought 3 days.
No,
Everybody good with that, right?
Hey, you buddy,
Yeah.
only Tennessee gets AD that quick.
They'll have a coach in the morning.
okay, next. We want to discuss the meeting time first?
One's good as the other, we gotta get them out of here, both are out of the way, so
Okay,
get a list for the credit cards, we just want to get that one.
okay. All right, credit card fees. I have brought a copy of December's statement that they email us. And our credit card fees for December were $1,312.64. And that was for 952 transactions. The transaction sales were $36,295.25.
Say that again.
$36,295.25. That's just kind of the summary they give. It goes down further as far as Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express. Then every month we're charged a package fee for the actual unit, which is like $15.95. To get our funds deposited next day costs us like $18 a month. And then there's a PCI charge for like $10 a month. So other than those $43, the rest is strictly credit card fees as far as the different Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express. I think somebody asked me before how much American Express we were getting in,
That was me.
because they always, American Express always costs more. But out of the 952, only 49 were American
So
Express.
it's an extra amount.
Yeah, so we don't get a lot of the American Express in.
Anybody have any suggestions, ideas, what we need on this? Where we want to start? How far, I guess, what's our shortfall, I guess, is what we're saying too. We had to take, what was 11,000 out of something else last month?
Mhm. Yeah, we had only budgeted 9,000 because we did the same as we did the year before, I believe, because of that budget pass. And so now after adding the 11,000 in, the total we have budgeted for the year is $20,611. And after putting that in December, our fees are at 46.95%. We should be, of course, 50% into December. So after adding the 11,000 in, it's still at 46.95.
Are you talking about the total number
Mhm.
for the expenses?
So the 9,000, which, I got lost there.
Originally we budgeted $9,600, and that was just based on numbers from last year from where we had to,
The 9,600 to pay credit card fees.
yeah, is what was originally budgeted. And we were already hitting that halfway, through the year. So, we did that resolution to put 11,000 from that rental line over in there just to cover us the rest of the year on these fees.
But really, we weren't upside down because we raised our tonnage fee, right?
That's what we
I
thought.
think so. I think we just failed to show what we're doing.
I do too, but I really, I know Keith's on here, and I want him to hear this again, because I've just done some general analysis. And by any analysis you want to do, we're charging our paying customers too much when we're trying to keep this in balance, and nothing else shows it any better than this. 10 or 11 years ago, in 2010, we shipped out about 38,000 tons of garbage total. Now looking at the big picture. In 2020, we're shipping out about 55,000 tons. So from 38 to 55. Okay, so you see that difference. Now, what really tells the tale, listen to me, Keith. In 2010, we collected from the citizens of Robertson County through the property tax. 2010, we collected, let me get my number here. No, I'm sorry, 2009. That's why I got the 11 years ago. We collected $923,000, 11 years ago. This year, in 2020, we're collecting about $800,000 or $900,000 from the citizens of Robertson County. So in other words, in round numbers, we're about the same. We're collecting about the same now as we did 11 years ago. So really what has happened is our paying customers are continuing to pay more and more and more. And the property tax that the citizens are paying for the convenience centers, for the citizens in Springfield, for the citizens in White House, for all of the free garbage we talk about, is continuing to go up. So I'm not saying we need to turn this apple cart upside down, because it would be an apple cart. I really think we're on the right track since we've gone up this last time. And let me refresh everybody's memory. The reason that we waived those fees is because we all agreed. It was a unanimous vote, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if you remember it or not.
It is.
But we were coming off of a robbery where we had built up about $1,700 and somebody miraculously broke in out there and stole it out of the safe. And on Saturday mornings, the scales were backed up all the way out to 431, all the way out around the hill, around the barn. And we're trying to get people through there as quick as we can. So we all said, let's drive people toward the credit cards and away from cash and away from checks if we can. So we all agreed to do that, and that's where we are now, and that's why we did it. And I think we did it for a very good reason. And we said, we're gonna eat those credit card fees, but we're gonna go up on our price, just like Dillard's does, just like Kmart does, just like Kroger's does, just like everybody does. Now, no other department in the county did that. We went to the county commission and told them what we wanted to do, and they all agreed that we need to do it in 2017. And now we've got a line item on the budget, and Keith is right on this. We've got a line item on the budget that we didn't budget for this year, and that's those credit card fees that's going to amount to about $18,000 or $20,000 a year. Am I right on that? I really think we kind of chasing our tail, worried about the credit card fees, when we ought to be worried about getting these customers through here and getting this contract redone. And probably when we get this contract redone, it's going to get a different perspective on everything. Now, I feel like I say too much every time, but I want everybody to know why we did what we did. And when we explained it to the county commission, they agreed with us.
So I guess, the problem with the commission is just that we're not being able to account for it, right?
Yes.
Well,
That's exactly right. We need a line item to show how much we're bringing in for that. If y'all want to add it in on the tonnage, however you want to do it, but I just need to be able to account for the credit card fees. I don't care how y'all do it.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Keith. And you and I don't disagree one bit. If we needed to go, if we thought we needed to go up some more on our paying customers, this is a great way to do it. Now, in my opinion, we need to divide the cost for a year by the transactions, and if it comes out to $2 or $5 or $1, whatever it is, put that on every credit card transaction that goes through there, and not worry about software and not worry about this, and let that pay for the things. And it's a great way to go up again on our paying customers.
You said
I totally agree. I think it's an excellent idea.
like a flat fee for, I mean, after you get the
Yeah.
equation figured in.
How much did it cost us when we got that number? For this year, it's gonna be about $18,000 or $20,000. Take the transactions, and if it's
3%.
It's what?
It's 3%.
If it's 3%, it'd be 60, I don't know what it would be, but whatever it is, if it's $1 or $1.50
I
or
just used that
$2.
machine downstairs and got $60 out of it, and they charged me $2. So that was 3%.
Okay, so 3%, that's a good round number. But I mean, we need to, for the budget committee's sake, for
Right.
making this budget, we need to make it work.
It needs to
Yes,
be.
But whatever it is, just,
They need a line item showing whatever trash is, and figure at least 3% on debit cards is what's coming out of what we're paying to haul tonnage.
yes, it's not just debit cards, it's credit cards too. It's everybody that runs a card through there.
Yeah.
Mayor. And get this one fee, call it an administration fee, call it anything you want to, but add it to that, and it's another great way to go up on our paying customers.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Keith and Mayor, I'd like to know, is this consistent with the way all the other departments are doing? Are you talking about charging a flat fee for every invoice?
No,
Or
this will be the only department doing that.
So, but there are other departments that are collecting money for credit card, people using credit cards.
Percentage, yes.
Well, why in the world would we do something different in this department than we do everywhere else in the county? And to me, that's setting us up for some problems. If somebody comes in and says, well, wait a minute, I only get charged $1 over here when I dump my trash. Y'all are charging me 3%. That's more money.
Well, I just said 3% as an example, Dennis. We can do it for 1 or 2.5 or whatever.
I just think you set a percentage, and the software and that your register out there and all that should calculate it, and it'd be done. But y'all do what you want. I'm not gonna fuss over this.
Somebody needs to mute the button.
Not me. I ain't doing anything but talking.
I did talk to Chet when he came in here and set up the laptop for me today, and he said that all the other departments that do the percentage, their point of sale handles the fee, to where we have to manually put in the credit cards. So it may be if we go to percentage, we either have to switch to a different company, or if either way, we're going to have to work it into our software so that paperwork matches the credit card at the end of the day like they do now.
You mean your point of sale doesn't have that feature in it? Most all of them have.
Not our,
An item. It's based on a percentage of something.
well, our truck management system, they have like for instance, when we accept a credit card, we have to hit credit card on the screen, but they would have to go in and program it every time that button was hit, take it, multiply it by 2.5% of that charge. So we know how much to put in the credit card machine for that charge. And they wouldn't charge us. They wouldn't charge us if they already had that set up for a different county. And I'm sure there's some county that does have some kind of percentage in there. So they wouldn't actually charge us for a software change if they already use it somewhere else.
Whatever.
Okay.
I'm not in the county, but what did it cost us last month? Like a quarter a ton, 26 cents a ton or whatever
Hang on.
to use credit cards?
Corey,
Yes.
this is Burton.
Mm-hmm.
You just said 2.5%, I believe, didn't you? It's a transaction fee. The way I understand it, it's $2.75 per transaction.
But we
If
don't.
you-
It depends on how you do it. I mean, we use a whole different credit card company than everybody else, and they did give us some discounts at the beginning. That's the reason Chet searched this out when y'all asked him to from the Solid Waste Committee. I think I went back and found the original paperwork and I was discussing that with Chet, but he said, he couldn't remember, but he said that he would help me go back through the company Allegiance and figure out what the percentage that they're figuring is.
Yeah, I don't have a credit card. If you pull up a credit card and it ain't no good, and they done dumped the trash, what do you do?
Mayor, in the nicest way I can say this, you need to get in the 21st century.
Well, I had one, but my wife abused it, so we ain't got one.
I
And
know.
be careful, it's being recorded.
Well, personally, if we do this, I like a flat transaction fee. And here's the only reason I like it is I know it's gonna be fast. We can't do anything to shoot ourselves in the foot, getting those trucks in and out there. We got our new setup and, but still, it don't take us much to get backed up, either in front of the scales or behind the scales. Any day of the week, not even counting Saturday morning.
Well, if you're gonna do that, can I make a suggestion and go more than what you need? Because the credit card fees are gonna continue to rise.
That's a good point, Keith.
I say make it 10% so we don't have to come back next week.
Oh, Lord, ain't nobody gonna use a credit card then.
It's all right. We'll satisfy a lot of people though.
We go back to
You got that
bad
right.
checks.
Well, Mr.
Every time we've raised the rates, we've come back in 3 months and had to raise them, so
That's a
on
good.
on our tonnage.
You're exactly right on that.
But when all this started, we intentionally were trying to drive people toward
Across
the
it.
credit card.
Instead of
Because
waiting.
it was faster. No other reason, because it was faster.
Why don't Corey check with that company and see what they're charging us, her bring it back, and then we'll add some to it, and then y'all vote on it.
I would like to, and once again, I'm not being argumentative, just want to ask you this, Ms. Court. Do you think they would come to our meeting?
The Allegiance.
Mhm. Just so they could answer some questions that.
I don't know. They're very hard to get on the phone. I will tell you that. They do
Okay.
a lot through email. Like when I had to, like our machine messed up, it took me forever to get to somebody without having to email. Because I mean,
That's what
they're
again-
based out of North Carolina. I don't know if there's anybody local here. I mean, I can investigate that.
I'm trying to take the onus off you and onto them. That way we're not saying, can this be done? And you really, we could just ask them directly
Right.
what they can do.
Yeah, if I could comment, Steve, I think that is a very good idea. However, I think our business amounts to so little to them.
I understand.
That it wouldn't amount to a hill of beans.
I understand.
Chad obviously figured that out.
He did in the beginning, and like I said, I tried talking to him before the meeting when we were setting up, and he couldn't remember because it had been, 2017?
You know, we're making two separate issues
I'd
here.
say that's right down his alley.
Or Mr. Don, get them on the phone. Ask Dale Johnson a phone call.
But I told Chad I would get back with him and I would bring up the paperwork that I did have that I found when we first signed up.
Regardless of what we do, Mr. Don is absolutely correct. When we started this whole thing with the scales and everything, and the credit card, we got the new scales, we wanted the right credit cards to keep everybody from being backed up. And whatever we do when it comes down to the end, I don't think it's something that y'all need to be figuring a percentage on. When somebody pulls up there, that y'all gotta do some figuring, because it's gonna slow the whole thing down. We need to do something where people can just keep the flow going. We gotta keep the flow going, whatever we do. I don't know the answer to it, but I know we can't change that.
We need your job easier.
Well, Keith wants a line out of him. He ought to have that next month.
Well, I agree with Keith on that, and we gotta fix that, but whatever
I think we're making this too hard.
Yeah, I think you're making it too hard. Keith wants a line item, and y'all decide if you want to keep raising it with the tonnage or do it separate.
Well, something I mentioned to Mr. Don one day was something I didn't think about when we increased the tonnage prices. What if we raise our minimum charge? Because there's very few minimum charges. I added up I told Mr. John, I went back a month and the charges between $5 and $6 that month, it would only be like $9,000 more a year if we went up $1.
What is the minimum charge?
The minimum charge is $5.
$5.
Which right now, and it's been that way for years, and right now that gets you from where we've raised the tonnage through the years, right now that $5 gets them around 160 pounds.
If somebody goes out there and puts $5 on the darn debit card.
Oh, you wouldn't believe how many.
You wouldn't believe.
And we're getting charged how much on that debit card?
Nobody carries cash.
Huh?
Nobody
Yeah,
carries.
I see where, if I use $5 a debit card and I'm having to pay the fee myself, I mean, even stores quit doing that.
You gonna throw it on the side of the road, ain't you, Bill, way up there?
Probably.
Yes.
Well, I
So,
mean, even stores, it's got a certain amount for their.
right, a minimum, yeah. But like our minimum trash charge is $5 and now, like I said, that only gets you up to 160 pounds. So one option without being changing tonnage is, like I said, we could go up on the minimum. But from what I figured on just looking at 1 month, like it's between $8,000 and $9,000 more a year if we went up, if those transactions stay the same,
If we went up how much, Court?
from $5 to $6,
5 to 6.
just to go up $1 on the minimum.
And if the credit card fees stay like they are right now, that would cover half,
That cover half of it. That's right.
approximately.
Oh, well, I think between us, we need to get it, we need to get a line item for it. And we need to account for it somewhere, and we could put it on the tons, but what we've been doing so far is we've been putting it on the money, but we didn't write it down anywhere. In other words.
That's right, we're not showing it. We could do it like that, long as we're not coming up short on our total money.
Right.
We pretty much covered, you think, for the rest of the year with those two accounts?
Yeah, as long as they stay pretty, consistent.
Why'd I
with
go
what
up
we're
to
doing.
7? A minimum of
See,
$7.
I agree. I was thinking about 750.
That could be
Yeah.
one way.
One time I went out there with 2 gallons of paint, and I had to pay the minimum of $5. Now, I never did that anymore. Next time I went out to.
Make
You
sure
make
you
sure you
have
have
enough.
low.
Did you use a debit card?
No, I spent
No.
whole hard cash.
He put cash, you know that.
No, when I did it, we didn't even take credit cards. To refresh everybody's memory, it took us about 6 years.
You
To
need
be
to
able
go buy
to
a bird
get
and
credit
throw it in
cards.
the sinkhole next time.
Yeah, the last time I was on solid waste, all we worried about was bad checks. We didn't have all this.
And so we
Right,
don't have
we did
that
have, we
now.
don't have
No,
it.
I'm just being honest with you.
The
We're
credit
either
card,
writing off bad checks or we're
Yes.
paying credit card fees, either way, so.
the credit cards has almost eclipsed the bad
Yeah.
check.
Yes, sir, I
Yeah.
understand.
Hey Keith, how would you think that would work if we just, increased that from 5 to 7? And with what you're telling us, with the numbers right now, in my math, that would be 18,000 a year roughly. And it was
Yeah, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that, as long as
We
as
show
you
it,
can,
then we-
as long as you can show it, that I can show somebody that, hey, this is what we're bringing in for credit cards, and this is what we've spent.
Some way, I guess, between you and Jody, you're gonna have
Not to
come
show
up
it
with a line
on the, yeah.
item To show what, and I don't know what we're.
I'm just like you, brother Bill. How do we do that? I mean,
Well, the only thing I could do is
Hey.
take what the minimum, I would have to take the minimum charge transactions for each month or year or a quarter or however we decided to do it and compare that to the 5 of what we were doing to show, I guess, a difference of income.
How many of the people that come with a minimum, for the,
Saturdays, there's a lot of
Yep.
five, like our number.
how many people try to pay with cash since it's that low? What I'm asking, still nobody?
Some do, some will
Not a
throw
lot,
5 at you, but not a lot. But
We need to raise the minimum.
I think, yes, I do think the minimum.
Now, Corey needs to print us out a sheet showing what comes in different weights, an average, because someday you may want to raise the bottom end, but you don't want to raise the top, because that's your biggest customers. You don't want to penalize them.
Yeah.
But, hey, I would like to see a chart like that. But hey, $5 for minimum, I wouldn't drive town.
One thing too, you're talking about, might be, if somebody goes to load that, we might need to have a person back there to help them push up or to direct traffic or whatever. do we want to do something to discourage these people so we don't have to pay that money? If we had, $10 fee, whatever, to keep the people from bringing a 2 gallon of paint?
What you saying, if you need help unloading, we'll furnish you somebody for,
Well, I think she was talking more about just directing
Well-
traffic, right?
He's
Yeah,
talking about
because-
charging more for a smaller amount. In other words, have a graduated.
Well, no, what I was talking about with that,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Bill, is so that we can control, hey, that one's got a propane tank. Because I don't know if it would be the duty of their loader operator to sort through and pick out the things like we do now
and told them where I'm.
and tow them around to the other side of the building or put it out in the metal pile.
I don't know with this thing here, do we need to have somebody to look at that when they pull up there with that truck or trailer, that all this mixed stuff, they pay more for a mixed load than they do for,
I've wondered that before too,
with
Corey.
just a standard amount?
Mhm.
I'm afraid that might slow it even down more though.
Well, no, I'm talking
Okay.
about
And if
just
it's all
charging them, dump it
tarred and-
there, and because it's probably gonna take more, somebody may have to be looking at it, or whatever, I don't know, I don't wanna slow it down, but I'm just.
I don't know if we can pay somebody to do that when they're doing it now for nothing. You know what I mean? The people bring it.
Yeah, my guess is, Mr. Chairman, we'll just have to figure that in with the cost of doing business. Yes,
Yeah.
because to think, the person that's in that scales can't leave the scales and look at it. And then if they don't, who does? It's just, and then once you throw it out on the floor, then the whole world can look at it. Of course, you done throw it out there then.
Because it's still our permit that's responsible for nothing hazardous to come in, nothing, that shouldn't go into the trash, should go somewhere else. That's still the county's responsibility, whether we're loading or they are.
Along with this, Mr. Don, I think part of the thing to do would be try to encourage people to recycle. The day I was out there with Trey, when they were looking at this, there were about 3 or 4 trailers, and I guess people coming in, that they were mixed with, some of them were with good skids, cardboard, all of this kind of stuff just mixed together. There's been a world of it that could have been to recycle if those people had taken a little bit of time. But I guess maybe part of the thought might be to encourage them to recycle by charging a little bit more if we have to send it up to the landfill.
That is very good idea. My comment is, good luck.
Well, yes.
Right now, recycling's not paying anything.
No.
I mean, metal's gone back
It
up some,
costs
but
extra money to recycle.
And that blows me away.
No, I mean.
It's
we
an
went through
ongoing
this-
battle.
I guess it's just cheaper to bury it. I mean, I don't mean to be blunt, but is that what it amounts to?
Yep.
It just takes time.
by the
It is,
time
and,
we take a load to Nashville of cardboard
Right.
and the fuel and the manpower, what I figured out, we're losing money each trip.
What about the plastic now?
0.
0.
Zero.
There you go, Steve.
You spend money on plastic. You flat out
Pretty
spend
much
money
what
on
else
plastic.
do you recycle?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to be the one that gives these short answers, but the other side of that is, our garbage is too cheap. To get rid of garbage is too cheap to make recycling work.
Right.
Right.
To make recycling work,
Nobody's
the
gonna
state and federal
separate.
government's going to get involved.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You can't do it on the local level.
Uh-uh.
You're right.
But they won't talk to you
Well-
about deposit on a bottle or can
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Used to, we held all them
Right.
glass bottles out and took back to, the store to get our nickel back, but
Well, we ain't got a whole, got very far with this, I don't think.
well, I will get with Chet, like I said, I will get with Chet, go over how we got all that set up with Allegiance and what actual percent they were looking at when we started and I'll get him to help me with this side of it.
Well, and this side of it, you mean if we charge a flat transaction fee?
Right, whether it be flat, percent, whichever way we
Whichever
go,
way.
it's gonna have to change, in our system and the other. Unless we can do the minimum going up, and then we don't have to worry about changing the way we're doing the credit card business.
But we're gonna have to make sure you show it.
Show it on the line.
Right.
That's what we said a while ago. If we go up
We're gonna have to figure
$2 on this, roughly that's 18,000 from what she's telling us. So
I think we need to move both.
Man, am I looking at this wrong? All right, so, I mean, my simple little brain here working, or not working. But anyway, so you got $1 million that comes in. If everybody that contributed to that $1 million coming in used a credit card, our fees would be 3% of that million. So can't we just come down here and say, okay, this line item is 3% of that million, and that's what we're saying is our amount, and just kind of go with that, because we already increased our tonnage fees to compensate. Is it just not that simple?
No, I personally think that's exactly right.
I think it's
Now,
So that's
in
what I thought we
defense
were
of the
gonna
budget committee, we need to give them,
A
we
number.
need to identify where this part of that revenue is coming from.
Yeah, I'm
And,
not opposed to that.
and I don't know why the bookkeepers can't do that.
Just seems that simple.
So say, like, whatever our revenue that came in
I
that
think
month,
I'm
say
following you,
3%.
Bob, you just, we shouldn't need the increase right now, we just need to show it. And the 3%
On a line item.
is a,
Uh-huh.
I think we need to show it and raise it $6 themselves.
if we're gonna,
Yeah.
But maybe we should have increased it when we done all the other increases.
yeah, but that doesn't really have to show
The
in,
minimum
nobody's gonna notice it.
yeah.
Like I posted new fees, but the minimum's not posted, so I don't have to change any of that at least on the new sign. Except the big sign, it may say $5 minimum. I'll have to double check.
I kind of agree with Bob and the mayor, both. I think we need to leave that part like it is and show it on the line item, we're using it based on the 3%
Yeah, so we had,
or whatever.
Well, you know, surely, we're not under the gun for the rest of this fiscal year, right?
Cause we got
No.
it,
It's covered.
It's
But
covered.
we ought to be able to figure out something before the next budget comes in, or
Right.
before we get to the budget meeting, is how we wanna do it. You know,
Gordon, have that line item next paperwork, okay?
The credit card fees on the report.
did you hear that, Keys? What we was talking about?
Yes, I heard it.
Well, you think that'd be all right? Cause like we talked about, should be covered from this year, right?
Right, that's correct.
Oh, if we just, Corey gets it showed where to be on the line item for right now, we got time to figure out whether we're gonna increase the minimum $2 or what we're gonna do between now and the next budget.
Yes, I think as long as we've got a plan in place by the new budget, we'll be A-okay.
all right.
All right. Thank you, Keith.
So, Mr. Chairman, back to what Tanya and Ms. Corey's talking about, do we have to wait till the budget to raise the minimum, or can we do that in
You can do
mid-year?
that.
I think we can do it.
Yeah, but if everything's hunky-dory, let's go just.
But let's make sure we don't let it roll under the bridge.
yes,
Don't worry.
I think.
I ain't gonna let it roll.
Y'all remind us when we start doing the budget about.
Put a footnote on your
Okay,
things you're gonna be asking for, have that on there
well,
somewhere.
let's think, it'd be one of the things we discuss again, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
And Mr. Corey, I'm probably gonna take a vacation day and come out there and you just show me around, so I got some more idea of what.
You ain't got no shoes you can wear.
Take him up on the
Yeah,
third.
I'll go buy some.
I used to do, high school class tours.
I'm about high school age.
I did
really.
high school tours for the environmental class at Greenbrier a few years in a row. I like doing field trips.
You know, I may be out of turn here, talking about doing like the other departments. People gripe a whole lot more about their garbage than they are about their license plates or about their property tax or all like this.
'Cause that's
You gripe
once a
about it,
year.
But you gripe about the amount, you don't gripe about the
Right.
tax rate, you don't gripe.
Or if we're doing
And that's my
garbage
thing, they
every
buy
week.
that once a year. They don't think about that but once a year, to where they're coming weekly to
Yeah,
visit us.
every week.
Or daily.
Yeah, or daily. That's the only difference.
Well, I think the court system, the state sets their fees, don't they, Bert? Okay, I'm ready to go.
But we got.
Our meeting
Burton
time,
went to dinner. Yeah.
If I'm there, I'm all over.
Okay, on the meeting time,
yes.
everybody,
Till it
would
started
it make it a whole lot easier for you to be at our meetings if we moved it to 5,
It
Steve?
would, but I don't wanna make it harder on everybody else. I think I should try to get here at 4 if it's convenient for everybody else, but it would make it easier
for me at 5.
Well, who's just
I just
convening
put it
on
out
more than
there.
anybody, I'm gonna say is Tanya and Corey. I think I heard Mr. Don, I think you may have said the other night, it wouldn't be much difference with you, is that right, Bob? Am I
It's,
thinking-
you know, it just depends on whether I'm with someone.
Right.
It's
What time do y'all go?
4:30.
So
So what
five would
would
be a
it-
problem for you, right?
Five would be great for me. I wouldn't have any excuse at all.
Mr. Don,
I'm with you, Mr. Chairman.
Whatever works
I'm
for
just gonna,
you.
it's gonna hurt you two worse than anybody from what I see, so could y'all deal with it?
I mean, we used to have to wait till 6, so I mean,
If I-
5's better than 6
If
to
I
me.
stick around down here till 6 o'clock, it makes me a little late getting. to
I would
bed.
really rather not do it at 6,
Yeah.
but so, and then, you know, we ran into a deal before, I remember, about when the days got longer and people were working and staying
Right,
outside.
right, that's don't, it's not, ain't nothing
Yeah, but
perfect either, Mr. Bob.
we vote up on that bunch of cattlemen. They have to do their work before they get there. They can't do that.
Yeah, they
I
do.
don't mind coming at 5, but I ain't much for staying after 6.
Yeah, that's,
Bye, Dennis.
Do we need to get a motion to move it, or?
I'll make a motion to move to 5 o'clock.
Get a motion? That's second, all in favor? All
Thanks,
opposed?
Brother Randy, I appreciate that.
So the meeting will be at 5 o'clock. So whenever maybe next winter we might change it.
That's fine.
Steve gets him a new job.
I hope, let's all pray.
Winter's almost over now,
Get a
Mr.
motion adjourned?
Motion to adjourn.
All right.